Step-by-step exam solutions. OK Math class, training you to excel. Subscribe to step-by-step exam solution. Give a thumbs up. Share with friends. Click the notification button so that you receive the next presentations. OK Math class presents step-by-step to exam success. Step 1, pray. Step 2, plan. Step 3, prepare. Step 4, preview. Step 5, perform. OK Math class, step-by-step exam solution to cumulative frequency graphs. In this series of presentation, we have been dealing with graphs. So far, we have gone through 1. Graph of linear functions. 2. Graph of quadratic function. 3. Graph of trigonometric function. 4. Graph of inequalities. And now we are in graph number 5, graph of cumulative frequency curve. Our objectives are 1. Obtain or complete a given table of values. 2. Choose a reasonable uniform scale. 3. Correctly plot the coordinate points. 4. Answer questions based on the graph correctly. The table below shows the marked distribution of candidates in an examination. Prepare a cumulative frequency table for the distribution. Draw the cumulative frequency curve for the distribution. Use your graph to estimate the median mark. If the cutoff mark in the examination was 58%, how many candidates passed? Now we are going to answer the question together. We draw our table. We are going to complete the cumulative frequency column and the class boundary column. Cumulative frequency is adding all the frequencies to the present class. For the first class, we have only 3. Then we now write the 3 here. For the second class, we are going to add the first 2 classes, or we'll add 5 to these 3. That will give us 8. For the third class, we add the frequencies from first class to the third class, or we'll add 8 to 10. That will give us 18. For the fourth class, we add all the frequencies from the first class to the fourth class, or we add 18 to 20. That will give us 38. 41 plus 38 will give us 79. 79 plus 50 will give us 129. 129 plus 36 will give us 165. 165 plus 11 will give us 176. And 176 plus 4 will give us 180. Now, for the class boundaries. Class boundaries are the demarcation between 2 classes. To get the upper class boundary, add the upper class limit of the class to the lower class limit of the class before it and divide by 2. You can see it here. Then another way we can do that is to subtract 0.5 here and add 0.5 here. Subtracting 0.5 from 31 will give us 30.5, and adding 0.5 to 35 will give us 35.5. So the class boundaries for the first class will give us 30.5 to 35.5. For the second class, subtract 0.5 here, you are going to have 35.5. Add 0.5 here, you are going to have 40.5. That will give us 35.5 to 40.5. Following the same process, this will give us 40.5 to 45.5. The next class will give us 45.5 to 50.5. Then the other classes will give us the upper and lower class boundaries as shown. So now we have completed the class boundaries. We are going to plot the cumulative frequency column here against the upper class boundaries. And to do that, we need to go to the graph board. But before then, please subscribe, give a thumbs up, share with friends, click the notification button so that you receive the next presentation. Now on the graph board, our axis. On the y-axis, our scale is 2 centimeters is equal to 25 units. Each small square will give us 2.5 units. On the x-axis, 2 centimeters is equal to 5 units. 2 small squares will give us 1, or one small square will give us 0.5. Then using that, we are going to draw our axis. This is the y-axis, or the cumulative frequency curve axis, and then this is the x-axis or the mark. So now we're going to use this scale to plot the graphs, but before that we're going to bring the table. So now when the cumulative frequency is 3, the upper class boundary is 35.5. 35.5. This is 2.5. 3 and 3 is close to 2.5, so we plot it at that point. Then 8 and 40.5. This is 40.5. Then this is 2.5. This is 7.5. 8 is closest to 7.5, so we plot it at that point. Now 18 will be plotted against 45.5. 45.5. Then you have this is 5. This is 10. This is 12.5. This is 15. This is 17.5. 18 will be close to that, so we plot at that point. Then for 38, we are going to plot at 50.5. 50.5, 38. Then we plot it there. Then 79 against 55.5. 55.5. This is 75. Add that. That is 80. 80 and 79 should be close to each other. Then 129 against 60.5. 129. This is 125. Add that, another 5. That's 130. 129 will be close to that point. Then 165 against 65.5. 65.5. Once this is 150. This is 155. This is 160. So, and then 165. Then the next two small square will give us 165 at that point. Then for 70.5, we're going to plot against 176. That is will be around this point here. Then the last point, cumulative frequency of 180 against 75.5. That will give us the point here. So now we have all the points correctly plotted. We are going to join these points with a smooth curve. That gives us the cumulative frequency curve. Then we are going to use this cumulative frequency curve to answer our questions. The first question, use your graph to estimate the median mark. The median mark is the middle mark. The median mark is the middle mark when all the marks are arranged from the smallest to the biggest or the biggest to the smallest. The position of the median is the 50% of the cumulative frequency. Now 50% of 180, the cumulative frequency, will give us 90th position. So now we're going to find the 90th position. This is 75, this is 80, this is 85, this is 90 at this point. So we're going to drop our line from that 90 position here. We drop a horizontal line to touch the curve. The red dotted line is the horizontal line, touching the curve at this point. From this point, we are going to drop another perpendicular line to the mark axis or the x-axis. Now, that's the value we are looking at. This is 55.5. Two small squares along the x-axis represent 1 unit. So 55.5 plus 1 will give me 56.5%. So therefore, the median mark is 56.5%. Then we're going to answer question D now. Question D says, if the cutoff mark in the examination was 58%, how many candidates passed? Now we're going to look for 58 marks. This is 55.5. This is 56.5, 57.5, and then adding 0.5 to that, that's 58. So 58 will be at this point. From this point towards the right are the pass mark. From this point towards the left are not the pass mark. And the pass mark limits touch the curve at this point. So from this point up, these are the number of people that passed the exam. Now looking at that, this is 100. And another two small squares will give us 5. So now that will give me 105. So from the 105 to 180 are the people that passed the exam. From 0 to 105 did not pass the exam. So therefore, these are the ones that passed the exam. down to 100. Now, the same thing, these are the ones that pass from 105 here, 105 here, up to 180 at this point are the ones that pass the exam. So now we mark the point. This is 180. So the difference between the upper limit here, 180, and the lower end here, 105, will give us the number of candidates that passed the exam, or the number of candidates that scored 58% and above. So therefore, the number of candidates that passed the examination are 180 minus 105, giving us 75. That brings us to the end of this presentation. Remember to subscribe. Thank you for watching.